So I'm telling all your listeners, you got to think about this, or you will keep seeing loss after loss. It's possible. I hope it doesn't happen. If Republicans don't run the right candidate, if they run a Rubio or Jeb, it's a Hillary presidency, and then we're going to have an entire Supreme Court of Ruth Bader Ginsburgs. We can win. There is hope, and I get into the hopeful part, the last two chapters that are very short, but you have to read the chapters that precede that so that you're boiling with rage by the time you get there. Pete Wilson won a come-from-behind triumphant victory in California in 1994 by tying himself to an illegal immigration measure, Proposition 187, saying illegals couldn't get government services. And California then had about the same demographics as America does now. Any presidential candidate, or at least a serious one, who tied himself to a pro-American, we are shutting down immigration.
Yeah.
I think we need to protect the people already here. And by the way, that includes immigrants. Recent immigrants are here. They decided to immigrate to America, not to Mexico. Well, they're going to wonder why in a few years if this isn't stopped. I think that would be a hugely winning candidacy, and that's the only way you're going to get the networks or half of talk radio to even talk about immigration.
There's a story out today that U.S. now has more Spanish speakers than Spain. Only Mexico has more. U.S. has 41 million native speakers who speak Spanish, plus 11 million who are bilingual. That's 52 million Americans are either only use Spanish or are bilingual. 52 million Americans have it, and there's no debate. There's no effort to change it. The Democrat Party latched on to 40 years ago the concept of we got to change the electorate, otherwise we can't win. And it's been successful. Which candidates running for the Republicans would Ann Coulter find acceptable?
Well, they're all appalling with the exception of Scott Walker. And as I point out in my book, and unfortunately I don't think this was made as clear as it could have been, Mitt Romney was fantastic on immigration. He was the best we've had of any Republican president on immigration since Dwight Eisenhower. And he did win more of the white vote than Reagan did, but that's just not enough anymore. He really just needed to drive up a little bit more of the white vote, particularly in the auto bailout states. So I'm still holding out for Republicans to demand that Romney get back in, take Scott Walker as his vice president, because the rest of them, they are varying degrees of disastrous on immigration.
Now, Ann Coulter, when I have on call